Hey, how are you? Hello, hello, hello. I love you. I love you. I don't have anything counting how many people are in the room. I didn't know anyone was in here yet. But we got to talk about some things. How you guys doing? How you guys holding up? Sending love back to you. Sending love back. But we got to talk about some things before we meditate. Guys, I can't see how many. Oh, I can see it now. Okay, it's like hidden by. Oh, the cat's in here. Well, Sammy, I guess you're gonna just be in here with us. You wanna come say hi? I bet you don't. Oh, my friends, my friends, my friends. What a week. What a week. How are we feeling? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how we're feeling. I know, she was loud, right? Meow. Hey guys, hey, you guys are pouring in. This is awesome. Gonna do some amazing work. We're gonna do some amazing, amazing work. I feel like the vibes are already high. I feel like the vibes are already high. That's amazing. Thank you. Absolutely, absolutely. Man, how did I go through my whole deck and I didn't find the cards that I wanted to? What should we as a people focus on today? I got a few points to talk about. Hi, I'm so glad that you can make it. Well, I want to honor everyone's time, so I guess I will just get started. So everyone's making it. Everyone is trying to have some type of semblance of normalcy. And when I say normalcy, I just mean the ability to not be mean, not be angry, not act off of emotion, to just act like the most normal version of yourself. I feel like that's what we are all trying to do. And just like holding it together, you know? So the toddler is still awake. So you might hear some cries of anguish and agony. Just know that he's not the biggest fan of bath time. But I wanted to do this with you guys. Okay, I found the two cards that I was looking for. So, we're trying so hard to be the best versions of ourselves when all this external stuff is going on that is so reflective of a lot of our life experiences. Everything that is, and I was talking to a friend about this the other day, everything that's happening right now, the energy of it, especially if you're black, you can tap into this energy at any time. So even though that there are riots and protests happening, that doesn't mean that as a black person you're not able to tap into this energy of fear, pain, desperation, anxiety at any time. But because we're seeing that there are protests, hearing about riots, it's like triggers, right? Sage, yes. Let's do some Palo Santo. You want to get out? You want to leave? Okay. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Get out. Get out. I know. There you go. Alrighty. So we can tap into this energy at any time, right? We can tap into the energy of sadness and fear. And because we're seeing that there are protests and riots, these things act as triggers. So instead of, as a black person, you learn how to push down the triggers, right? You learn how to not feel those things because you need to function. You need to go to work. You need to go to school. You need to do things. You can't always be obsessed with the plight of the black man or the black woman. So I'm going to tell you guys something that you probably did not know about me. My mom is extremely pro-black. When I was 3 years old, I was saying the Martin Luther King speech at the Apollo. I said it 3 times and I won twice, I think. But I was brought up in an extremely pro black home. And like I said, I memorized the speech when I was 3, so I was taught about everything that was happening and about my past as a black person very, very young. So I feel like that's one of my blessings, that I would, that because my mom worked so hard to help me understand the plight of the black man, that as I got older, I was less traumatized as some of my peers who didn't really understand the weight of being a black person in America until they got older. So, just so you know, my background. So, I try to speak with urgency and I try to speak with conviction, but I try not to speak with chaos, because I came into this world and pretty much once I could comprehend words, my mom was like, all right, there's some stuff you have to know. So, yeah. But one of the first things I want to talk about, and what the main purpose of this time together is going to be, is understanding that this is a turning point. Yesterday and the days before were really hard for me. Were the last few days really hard for you guys? Let me know how the last few days were for you. But tons of tears, tons of emotions. Oh, I love you. I love you. Tons of tears, tons of emotion, and a lot of what's the point? A lot of wondering what's the point of. Personally, I was like, what's the point of my YouTube? I've been working on videos so that I can get ahead of content. And so I got ahead on content, and I have like 6 videos waiting to upload. And after everything that happened this weekend, I was just like, they're not relevant right now. So I'm not going to upload them yet. I'd rather do this live. But just a lot of pain and a lot of anxiety the past few days. And today, and yesterday when I said that I was going to do the live, I was ready to just get on here and cry with you guys. I was ready to just fellowship, and, there's darkness, and darkness is okay, and we're just in a darker time right now. And we'll talk about that in a second, but I was ready to, feel that with you guys. But I woke up today and there was just such clarity in this message that I got, that this is a turning point. And I know that so many things have happened, especially since social media has become poppin'. Since social media has become one of our main ways to get news, I know that so many things have happened that we thought would be turning points because we saw the proof. But I never really thought that those things were turning points, because things on social media, they'll come out one day and like everyone will forget about it in a week or a month. Not saying that people forget about victims of police brutality, but when there's one victim one week and then another victim the next week and another victim the next week, you just keep going. So, yeah, today I woke up with this message of this is a real turning point. I woke up with this optimism. And whenever I wake up with energetic feelings that are different than, like starkly different, like if I'm really sad one day and then really happy the next, I try to figure out what that means. Yeah. A lot of unhealed pain. So I started to look for clues in my external environment. I was like, okay, if this is a turning point, I need something to like reaffirm that I can start to put my energy into understanding that this is a turning point. Oh my goodness. Facebook's always been very dangerous. Facebook has always been very, very dangerous. You guys know I'm a social media consultant, and I always tell people, like, Instagram is visual, it's top layer, and Facebook Twitter is like more opinions, but Facebook is like you're sitting in somebody's living room. It's very intimate, and it's very like, these are my inner thoughts that I probably shouldn't be sharing, but because I'm on Facebook, I'm going to share them. So right now in this time, Facebook is it's very interesting. But I started to look for clues to understand where this optimistic energy within me is coming from. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch the news. I knew what I was going to see, but I was just like, I need to understand where this energy is coming from. And I get my news from YouTube. So I go to MSNBC, CNN, and those are pretty much like the main two that I look at. Okay, Paula. Okay, what are we talking about? We're going to talk about it in a little bit. We're going to talk about it in a little bit. You get a gold star, girl. Okay, so many of you are like empaths and psychics. And it's blowing my mind because a lot of you guys comment things and comment questions of videos that I'm currently working on. And I'm like, y'all psychic. But okay. So I went to these news YouTubes and I saw that each video that has come out in the past 48 hours, like let's say 20 videos came out in the past 48 hours, 15 of those videos had influential Black people speaking. And excuse me, okay. And we're not talking about on Black entertainment networks. We're talking about on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News. So my mind was just blown. I didn't binge watch the news, but I just went to different news outlets to see what was being talked about. And it's like everyone is talking about race. Everyone. And yes, everyone is talking about George, and you know, we love him and we love his family and we love all victims and we love their families and we send them love. But the conversation isn't focused just on George. In the past, when there have been different victims of police brutality, the news outlets would only focus on the victim. And then when the story was over, the news cycle moves on. I'm gonna cry. Wow. But right now, the conversation's growing bigger. It's growing bigger than George. And I've never in my life, and I know my mama has never in her life seen on mainstream networks, Black influential people being able to share what they have to say. It'd be tears of joy. It would be tears of joy. Okay, so I have a whole like list of points because there are like really important things I want to make sure I tell you guys. So this is a turning point. I know you feel it. Is somebody already crying? If you're already crying, let us know, and then we know where we're getting it from. But okay. So the second thing I want to talk about. Let's talk about white people. So, I grew up in New York. I grew up in the North. New York has race relations that are very different from the rest of the country. Very, very different. So the whole, it's whites against blacks. If you're from New York, you're going to feel what I'm saying. I don't understand that because ever since I was young, it's been white, black, Hispanic, Indian, Asian. It's been everybody at every time, like since I started school. Like it's never just been white and black. So I didn't know that there was that duality. Like I said, my mom from a really young age, she raised me to understand about our people's past and why that is the reason certain things are the way they are. I always understood that. But I never just saw two races. I saw that two races have a history, but these are two races in a melting pot of tons of races, so it doesn't really make sense to just hyper focus on the two races. Does not make any sense. So, yes, Now, I want to talk about law of attraction and white people right now. Um, I have a very small social circle, a very small inner circle, you know, just how it be with social anxiety. You know how it is. Y'all know what's up. And like, if I have 10 friends, 5 of them are white. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. And I've been seeing all of these memes, all of these text posts that say, I see all you non-black people not speaking up. I see all you non-black people being quiet, not being a part of the revolution. And I'm just like, what white people are y'all hanging out with? Because let's talk about law of attraction really, really quick. So if you have a perspective that white people, like, you could have so many different perspectives with white people, but if you have a perspective that is, let's say it's a spectrum from I don't trust white people, I don't F with white people, XYZ, all the way to, you know, white people are fine, but they just don't understand what I'm going through, which is true. They will never understand what we are going through because they haven't experienced it. But all that to say, if you have a spectrum of these emotions, wherever you fall on this spectrum is going to be reflected in your reality. Those are the types of white people that you are going to attract. Like I said, I grew up understanding that race means nothing, ethnicity means nothing. You know, all it means is that it determines where your culture is in time, but it doesn't determine who you are as a person. So because I grew up that way, I see that reflected in my life. I see a whole range of white people. I see a spectrum of white people. I don't say, you know, all of them are against me, all of them are against my people. So I'm not saying that the people who are saying that white people aren't helping us, you're not wrong. There are tons of white people that are not helping us. But if that's all you see, that's a reflection of your perception of white people. You're not wrong, but you see it because that's what you know about white people. That's how law of attraction works. Whatever you believe is what you notice. So when I see all these things like white people aren't real allies, white people don't want to help, I'm just like, well, what kind of white friends do you have? Because my white friends, if they're not protesting, if they're not standing in these barricades between the police and black people, they're doing things at home. So absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I even have a friend, she doesn't want to go to protest because she's too anxious. So you know what she's doing? She's getting together groups of other white people so that they can raise funds for bailout. Or so that they can raise bailout funds for people who are being wrongfully arrested. Okay? Now, if I did have a white person in my personal circle who wasn't doing something, I'd be like, peep that. All right, have a good life. Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not experiencing that. So just understand that if you're out here and, like, if you see a white person and you're triggered, you gotta breathe through that. You gotta breathe through it. And you have to think about the story that you are telling yourself in that moment. And if that story serves you, keep it. But if that story doesn't serve you and if you want to change your perspective, you have the power to do that. Okay? Because it's not white versus black. It's everybody versus racist. It's not white versus black, it's everybody versus racist. This is a turning point. Okay, so what are we talking about next? Okay, so what we're talking about next is, so Paula actually just mentioned the tarot card, and this is a tarot card. I am very new to tarot. I've been studying for 2 years, and that's not a long time. That's not a long time. So, if I articulate this incorrectly, y'all better correct me in the comments so that we can be an educated community, okay? So, there is a portion of every tarot deck. This is gonna be hard to explain. Long story short, tarot decks can tell a story. And the story has a beginning point and the story has the end point. At the very beginning, there's the Fool card, and that represents innocence and like being wide-eyed and just being open and ready for new experiences. And then you go through your journey and you have different experiences that put you at different place in your life. I know, my hair is getting so long. I love it. I really do. So, you have different experiences in your life. So towards the end of this journey, things start getting a little more tumultuous. You've learned lessons, you've had experiences, and now the universe is like, okay, let's put some growth in here. So one of the cards that is towards the end of this journey is called the Tower. Let's look at it for a little bit. So it's people who are in a tower that's struck by lightning, and it's just a very chaotic card. There's a lot of chaos happening. There's a lot of different things happening, and it looks really scary. And what this card represents is the chaos and the destruction that has to occur during a journey, during every journey. So after that card, not right after, there are a couple cards in between, but then you get to the Sun. You have to, which is my tapestry, the Sun. So, that is valid. That is valid. We will get to that in one moment. Okay, so you have to go through the Tower to get to the Sun. You have to experience the chaos and destruction, whether that is physical chaos, physical destruction, or whether that's internal chaos, internal destruction. You have to go through it in order to get to the Sun. I think that, especially if you're on your spiritual journey, I think that you can just begin to expect a time where life's just perfect, because you're working on all this stuff inside. You're just like, I'm healing all my trauma. I'm so much happier. Life's supposed to be wonderful all the time. And I mean, I even fall into that a lot. I really, really do. But I wonder if we're forgetting that life ebbs and flows, right? Nothing lasts forever. And I really broke this down. I really just tried to figure out why can't the happiness last forever? And I just realized that, our consciousness, we have times where everything's Gucci, everything's great, and our consciousness can just chill. Our consciousness can just chill, and we can enjoy life, see the fruits of our labor, and, really live. But that's not what life is about. If you believe that you came here to learn, if you believe that you came here to raise the collective consciousness, it's like, okay, well, when's that learning going to take place? Learning takes place during the growth, okay? So when things are fine, when things are dandy, the consciousness is just chilling. I'm not going to say it's passive, but it's just chilling. It's just observing, and it's just like life is good. But then when there's chaos, then when there is turmoil, that's when things get rocky. And that's when the growth comes. That's when the growth is implemented. What did I say? The conscious mind is being expanded. And the conscious mind has to be expanded in order to let that new stuff in. So whenever we go through, exactly, growing pains, whenever we go through these difficult times, and what's going on right now, the death of innocent people, that's not difficult times. That's wrongdoing. That's something that needs to be corrected, and it should have been corrected a long time ago. That's not difficult times. I'm talking about the difficult times come when you hear about that, and then you can't think of anything else, and then it triggers a depression. That's the difficult time, okay? So we have the external events, and then we have how the external events affect us. So the difficult times are more internal. And when the consciousness is expanding, that's where all that growth is coming from. So I'm sure we all know people in our lives who have gone through hard times, and from the outside looking in, we see their problem and we see how this problem can help them grow. But oftentimes when you can't see that when you're going through something, people from the outside can see it, can say, hey, all you got to do is this and this, and your problem will be solved. But when you're going through it, it's kind of harder to understand how to get yourself out of the problem. So when you're going through a hard time, are you going to look at how you can find the lesson, how you can find the growth, how you can learn how to be stronger? Or are you going to download the pain and make the pain a part of your personality? Okay, let's get to the meat. So, growth. Growth. When life is chaos, when things are crazy, we can only hold on to one thing. We can only hold on to our knowledge of ourselves. We don't know anything. We don't know anything. Doesn't matter how much you study. Doesn't matter how long you go to school. People have learned facts, and then a year later, science has proven that that fact is something different. So we don't know anything. All we know is ourselves. So when there is chaos, when things are crazy, the only thing you can really hold on to is your knowledge of self. And if the chaos starts to seep into your internal state, then it comes down to, what do you know about yourself? Right? We're all going to go through depression. We're all going to go through anxiety. I'm not saying that we can just sidestep that. But what do you know about yourself in the situation? I love you. What do you know about the self? What about yourself in this situation? We can only know things about ourselves as individuals. And I think that's where a lot of the frustration, especially in the Black community, comes from. These sketchy, I'm sorry, I'm gonna curse. Are y'all ready? I'm gonna curse. These sketchy ass things happen. These sketchy ass deaths happen. And I think so many of us, especially I go through it because we're never gonna know all the facts. And that is something that is so frustrating and so, it's maddening. So I have a choice. I could sit here and go to website after website after website and try to gather all this information about these cases and try to like figure out how to get more information so I could put the puzzle pieces together. Or I can accept that I won't ever know the whole story, but that I know that I will do everything in my power to make sure that I continue to raise the collective consciousness so that I can make this world better, so I can lower the chances of it happening to anyone else ever again. So, in times of external chaos, we turn inward. And then it comes to asking ourselves the question, what do we know about ourselves? And do we know that we're strong enough? Do you know that you're strong enough? And when you ask yourself, am I strong enough? What comes up? Am I strong enough to make a difference? Am I strong enough to survive this emotionally, physically? Absolutely. Look, y'all are talking more than me in these comments. Y'all are talking more than me. I love y'all. I love y'all. And then, as you continue to ask yourself these questions about yourself and what you have to do with the chaos and what the chaos has to do with your personal life, that's when we start to talk about personal power. And that's ultimately what we're talking about. That's ultimately what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about our personal power. We're talking about our ability to hone our personal power. So, I don't know how many of you guys do the affirmations. You guys are all queens. You're all queens and kings. Every day I read the comments and I'm just like, how did these people find me? Oh gosh, guys, it's been 30 minutes already. What? 5-minute intro my butt. Okay. So I don't know how many of you guys do the affirmations, but oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that you guys do the affirmations. But I remember like a week ago I said that I was going to email you guys something special. Yeah, so the George Floyd stuff happened, and I just ever since that happened, I can't sit for long amounts of time and not do physical things, or else I get too in my head about it. So I wasn't able to send out the email. But what I did do is I organized the email, and we have like 874 people on a mailing list, which is insane. So I do promise that I am going to start coming out with a newsletter. I promise. But, you know, we all need space right now to figure out where we are emotionally. But what I was going to send you guys was this new affirmation list that I'm working on. And it has been published. It is on the affirmations page now. And it is a personal power affirmation list. Okay? So it's so funny because I was working on this before everything that's currently going down went down. But when everything started happening, I was like, wow, everything that's happening has to do with personal power. Because, y'all, come for my neck. Because I'm about to generalize, and you can totally come for my neck because it's a generalization. But a lot of the frustration and anger and sadness that comes from the Black community is from feeling powerless. And I personally believe that there has been a characterization of powerlessness passed down from generation to generation from slavery. Now, not everybody, you know, tons of Black people in the early 1900s, in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s, my mama, like tons of people realized, hey, I feel like I'm not worthy of stuff, and that's not right. Let me do the work to fix this and make my kids better. Tons of people have done that. Tons of Black people have done that. But a lot haven't done that work. And when you don't do that work, you pass it down from generation to generation. You pass down this idea that I am powerless. And when you believe that you're powerless, where do you look for your power? You look for it outside of yourself. You look for it outside of yourself. And you can never find the power outside of yourself. Because this world is a video game. Your world is a reflection of everything you got going on inside. You're not going to find that power outside yourself, babe. You're not. But when you figure out that you have an unlimited resource of energy and power within, when you figure that out, it's the same thing as becoming a millionaire. It's the same thing as popping off on YouTube. It's the same thing. You guys are, I can't. You guys just, so the meditation tonight is going to be all about personal power, okay? Before we get into it, just remember that you don't have to react to crisis. You don't have to react to trauma in a way that anyone tells you to. You can cry one day and be happy the next. I'm ready. I'm ready to be crying tomorrow. You know, like, it's okay if you're okay one day and you're not okay the next. It's okay if your emotions are everywhere. We are in the craziest time right now, and honestly, that's a whole nother live stream. So it's okay if you're not reacting the way that people expect you to react, and it's okay if people don't understand how you're reacting. That's fine. But I do ask that in every thought, in every action, you address your personal power. And if your thoughts and if your actions come from this place of feeling powerless, so I was talking to a friend the other day about how your mindset helps you attract things into your life. The cop who murdered beloved George, he felt powerless, right? He did what he did because he was scared. So he felt powerless. His subconscious mind said, I'm in danger. I need to do what I need to do to make sure that I stay alive. I do not feel strong enough, right? So he kills an innocent man. He felt powerless, so he killed an innocent man. Now he's going to go to jail and have no power. So, and that's not what happens in every situation. Unfortunately, every cop who commits brutality against an innocent person doesn't go to jail. But if they feel powerless enough to attack someone and trying to make that person feel powerless, then there's such a huge chance that within that person's life, they feel powerless all the time. So the only way to be more powerful than all this mess, all this pain, all this anger, the only way to be more powerful is to turn up the notch on the inside. Okay? So I have these affirmations pulled up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start this meditation. And we're going to infuse the meditation with some mantras. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to upload this later. Don't worry, you guys. I love you. I love you. I'm going to upload this later. Okay, so remember, you can sit down in a chair. You can sit on the floor. I'm sitting on the floor. You can fold your legs. You can sit with your legs out straight ahead. Whatever feels good to you. Okay? You want to push those sits bones into the earth. Push the hips into the earth. Tighten the core. Draw the belly button into the spine. Really feel it tighten, and you'll feel your spine straighten. Draw the shoulder blades together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. I feel y'all breathing with me. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. The crown of the head lifts to the ceiling. And now we feel our chakras aligned. Aligning our center of gravity. Resetting our internal system. Opening the rib cage. Giving the diaphragm space so we can take nice full breath. So let's inhale. And feel the rib cage expand on all sides. Really take that breath in. Let the belly become big. And as we exhale, empty the belly. Nice big inhale. Nice big exhale. Feeling that internal warmth growing. Feeling that internal power growing. Yeah. Okay, so feeling the shoulders drop to the earth, finding that relaxation, and beginning to turn inward, staying with the breath. And I want you to imagine that there's this warm, peaceful energy swirling around your mind. It's filled with love. It's filled with light, and you feel it illuminating the inside of your skull, clearing out any thoughts that distract, any thoughts that do not align with what serves. Just gently clearing them out, clearing out the cobwebs, clearing out the dark spaces, making space for thoughts of love, for thoughts of abundance, for thoughts of safety, for thoughts of peace, for thoughts of inspired action that will allow us to raise this consciousness even higher. Make that space, continue breathing, stay with the breath. Feel that energy swirl throughout your mind, cleaning it all up, getting rid of any thoughts that do not serve, using the breath, inhaling confidence, exhaling doubt. Feel that energy Float down gently, releasing any tension behind the eyes, releasing any tension in the jaw. Maybe removing the tongue from behind the teeth. Feeling that energy flow down to the neck, flow down to the shoulders. See if you can release any tension in those shoulders just a little bit. Feel the arms become heavy as that energy swirls through the arms, behind your elbows. Feel this energy shoot from your shoulders right out through your fingertips. This energy is swirling in your chest cavity now, illuminating you from the inside, lighting you up, remembering what peace feels like, remembering what it feels like to be self-sufficient as you relax the organs in your torso. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. That energy coming down to the hips, feeling the hips become heavy. As that energy swirls through your thighs, feeling the thighs become heavy. Feeling the energy flow down to the knees, right behind the kneecaps, down to the legs, and finally down to the feet, flowing out through your toes and the soles of your feet, feeling this energy light you up from the top of your head all the way down to the soles of your feet, flowing within you, getting rid of any sadness, getting rid of any fear, getting rid of any idea of pain or any idea of lack, remembering what it feels like to just be content in the moment without fear or anxiety. Because we are here right now and we are safe and we're with people who love us. I love you. And we are love. Stay with the breath. Continue to push your hips into the earth and place your right hand on your belly, the left hand on the heart. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. This singing bowl is from a friend of the channel. Her name is Justin Roy, and I will put her website in the description box. This singing bowl is the note E, which is for the solar plexus. So allow this noise to help you melt away any anxiety, to help you melt away any fear. Listen to the sound of the music. Listen to the vibration and feel yourself tune in. Releasing any tension. And if you'd like, you can repeat this mantra with me. You can say it out loud. You could say it in your mind. My strength comes from within. 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 Inhale through the nose. Release any anxiety. Inhale through the nose. Release any doubt that you are not strong enough to make a difference. Letting it all out, emptying the belly. Staying with the breath. I deserve everything because I am everything. 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 I am worthy because I exist. 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 Y'all feel that power? My validation comes from within. 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 You are free. You are free. I fear nothing and no one. I fear nothing and no one. I fear nothing and no one. Say this one out loud. I fear nothing and no one. 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 It's been inside of you this whole time. You've always had it. You've always had it. You've always had it. Begin to contemplate love. Begin to think of the person you love the most. Think of their smile. Think of the joy they bring you. Feel that love in your heart space. Let's inhale. Sweep the arms up overhead, waking the body back up. And as we exhale, let's bring the hands to the heart. Cultivating love within us. Let's first send love to each other. Love to each other for creating this kick-ass community. Love to each other for wanting to be better and helping each other become better. Love to each other for motivating and believing in one another, because we all believe that we are all capable of whatever we want. We all believe in each other. So loving on each other, loving on this community, my reality benders. Let's just love a little bit. Feeling that love grow within your heart. Imagine that love spreading down the block of the house where you're in right now. See if you can expand this feeling of love and send love to every person on your street. Expand that feeling. See if you could send love to every person in your neighborhood. See if you could send love to every person in your city. Feeling it in your heart. Feeling that little bit of effort that it takes to push that love outward. Bringing it into reality as you send it out to all the souls who need it most. See if you could expand that feeling. Sending love to your whole entire state. Covering your state with warmth and understanding and caring and shelter, loving your state the way that you yourself want to be loved, knowing that that you are capable of receiving love and giving the exact same love. Giving that love to everyone in your state as you feel your heart grow. Now together, all of us, let's see if we can send love to this entire country, covering it from the West Coast to the East Coast. Like the country is a little child and we are here to hold it and love it and care for it and do everything we can to show it the way. Send that love out. And rain that love back in. Feel that love come back to you. And last but not least, let's remember to cover ourselves in our own love. So that we may be protected, so that we may hone our personal power, so that we may feel the strength that comes from self-love. It's all love. Beginning to wiggle the fingers, beginning to wiggle the toes. My loves, my friends, thank you so much for allowing me to share this time with you. Thank you so much for meditating with me. Thank you so much for loving with me. And please know that the light in me sees and honors the light within you. Namaste. Gently, slowly, if your eyes are closed, you can feel your eyelids part ever so slightly, looking at the earth. And then slowly lifting the gaze and taking in the room around you. How you guys feeling? How you guys feeling? Talk to me. How we doing? Oh gosh. I feel like we just gave out some love. Oh, love to everyone. Love to everyone. If you are crying, I feel you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm holding you. This is the work, guys. This is the work. The work isn't fighting through it. The work is staying here. And when all of the chaos, all of the anger makes you want to lower, you gotta stay here so that others who don't want to be in the pain can figure out how to get up here too. That's how we change it all, okay? That's how we change it all. There is a place for riots. There is a place for violence. I'm not one of those people who says that it's all peace and love. For me, it is. For my path as an individual, it's all peace and love. But everyone has a different experience. So in your individual shoes, figure out what makes you feel the most balanced. Figure out what makes you feel like you are doing what you need to be doing to help raise the collective consciousness. And that is all you have to do. That's it. We all have different roles. I love you, MVP. I love you, Nikki. I love you guys. We are made for this. We are made for this, guys. We really are. We really, really are. Oh my God, that was amazing. Is anyone's head buzzing? Ah! It's like, oh my goodness. I want to hug all of you. I want to hug all of you. So, I know, I feel it. And you know, I didn't think I'd be able to get my vibration this high today. But y'all always show out. Y'all always show out. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so, so much. You guys are blessings. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yay. What are you guys going to do tonight? I'm going to sit with my hubby and talk about something good that we can do. Read about the good stuff that I can do. Yeah. The meditation only day. It's true. It's true. That was facts right there. Meditation allows you to clean the slate. But it has to be the spirit that's joyful in order to get to the joy. But the meditation allows you to ease the pain out. So those were facts. Those are facts. I hope I can see all these comments later because I know I missed tons of good ones. I'm grateful that you found me. You guys don't understand. I love you guys so much. Okay. Oh my goodness. My Bindi vibe tribe. Okay. I always feel like at the end of these I'm so awkward because I'm just like smiling and happy like I want for nothing. I'm just happy. Guys, you killed it. You all did amazing. I know. Yeah, I'm probably just going to clean and go to bed after we watch some stuff. Yay! I can't wait to see what you say. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was talking to my mom about that, and I actually think a lot of my anxiety comes from my mom because my mom's brain goes... So we were talking about how she's starting to meditate, and she is saying that the meditation's helping her stay present in her prayers. I was like, that's awesome. That's awesome. You guys know the more you heal the people around you. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. I would talk all night if I could, but I'm gonna go watch some TV and find something yummy to eat. I want something yummy to eat. I made vegan French toast this morning and it was so good. Okay, I need to end this. I'll be on here all night just talking. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for being here. Yes. Well, I think we raise each other's vibration, right? Like we feel it so much because we're all doing it together. Could you imagine if we were all in a room? Okay, sorry guys. Okay, for real. I'm gonna stop reading comments. I'm stopping right now. I'm not even looking. I see all the beautifulness and I'm gonna try to read it later. I love you so much, you guys, and have the best night. Have the sweetest dreams. Read your letter to your subconscious. Maybe do some scripting. Let's all do some scripting. I'm gonna do some scripting really quick. I'm not even gonna write a whole page. I'm just gonna write a few sentences. But I want this feeling to last as long as possible. So I love you guys, and we will talk again very soon. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I love you with my heart and with my soul and with my entire body.